back, guys. So here we go again, another week, another Ask Snes. How many times am I going to say that? Anyway, hope you're all well. Christmas just around the corner, so a couple more days and it'll soon be here. We'll all be opening our presents, eating our food, having a good time, spending time with the family, which is the most important thing. So yeah, so let's crack on. I've got quite a few questions. So first set of questions are from Scribble Sam Animation, who asks, what is your opinion on the recent controversy over the latest Tekken game? There's a new character called Lucky Chloe, and everybody hates her because she's cute. I'll be honest with you, Sam, I saw your questions last week, so I decided to have a look into them because I didn't know anything about most of the questions you're asking me. So I had a look at the Lucky Chloe character, and I can kind of understand why people would be a little bit pissed off because she's cute, but I actually kind of like the character. I think she looks pretty good. And I don't know how you pronounce her name, but the other female character that's always been in Tekken begins with an X. I don't know how you pronounce her name correctly. She's kind of cute anyway. I mean, I know that the Lucky Chloe is really overly cute, but yeah, I don't really see a problem with it. I think people just get a bit too hung up on kind of stuff like this. So at the end of the day, what does it matter? If you don't like the character, you don't play as the character, you choose somebody else, so it doesn't really make any difference to the actual game, I don't think. Okay, what is your opinion on the song Red Solo Cup by Toby Keith? As I say, I didn't know what that was. I knew who Toby Keith was, but I didn't know the songs, so I had to go and look it up. It sounds pretty good. I don't know if there's like some kind of controversy or something about this song, but yeah, I thought it was pretty decent. I liked it. It was not a bad little song. He says for some strange reason, I can imagine Mark from Classic Game Room singing the song. Yeah, I suppose that would probably work quite well, actually. What is your opinion on Simon's Cat, the cartoon? Again, I've never heard of Simon's Cat, so I had a look at the channel, and the only video I saw was the one where he was drawing Simon's Cat, and I thought, I can't draw, and I know nothing about animation, but that looks a bit too simplistic. So I don't know really if it's, I don't know what the big deal is. But yeah, it's not something I'd watch, to be honest with you. Okay, what is your opinion on FMV-based games like Time Gal, Dragon's Lair, even Mighty Morphin Power Rangers on Sega Mega CD? Do you think it would be cool if these games would be brought back in fashion? They could be released on DVDs. Yeah, I actually kind of like games like Dragon's Lair, but I also like the old, like the light gun games as well, the Mad Dog McCree's. Those kind of games are really cool to me. I like the cheesy acting. It's just kind of fun to play them. But in terms of the Dragon's Lair type games and that, they're absolutely fantastic because they're essentially just quick time games, aren't they? Really, just you've got to learn the right movement at the right time and just got to be pinpoint accurate. And watching somebody be good at those is amazing. I watched Jay Cybersnake playing it on, I think it was on Cojones, the Loros channel Daz, and I was just like, wow, he made it look quite simple, but it really isn't. Yeah, why not? Bring them back, the more you can bring back the better, because, you need a good variety of games, something different. Alright, thanks for the question, Sam. Next set of questions are from Muzz247365, so cheers for the questions, mate. And first question is, so what was going on with your arms in the last video? I have no idea. Honestly, it was really weird. I was just sitting here, but my arms just they look alright today, but they just look really weird and long, and like alien. I don't know if it was just the camera or the angle or what it was, but yeah, it was bizarre. I hate that when I'm making a video and I'm looking in the screen there and I can just see things, and it just starts irritating me, and I'll just, I have to pass comments sometimes. You always say you love the original Xbox, which I did. So when are you buying another one? I'll be honest with you, it has been on the cards for the last couple of months. I've been thinking about it and I've been looking at them, but I just don't know if I can really commit to it. I'm tempted because on the flat screen over there, I would like to have the Xbox with component. I haven't really got the space for it at the moment, if I'm honest, because of the size of the machine. But yeah, I'm never going to say never. I'm not going to rule it out because there's always a possibility. The Xbox, if I was going to buy one, because I decided to buy all PlayStation consoles, and I decided that the PlayStation 2 is going to be my system of that generation, and therefore cross-platform games I'll buy on PS2. If I was to get the Xbox, I'd have to buy exclusives, but the problem I've got is if I buy the Xbox, I know that games like Black, I'm going to have to buy an Xbox because they're better than PS2 version. PS2 version is fantastic, no doubt about it, but the Xbox version is the superior version. And the problem is, it's like on a collector's point, I think, what's the point of having the same game on two consoles? I mean, it's not like the Mega Drive and SNES where you had the same game on two consoles but are totally different. This is exactly the same game, but one's got better graphics. But then I also think, well, the games are only like 50p, a quid, £2. They're not expensive at all, so does it really matter? Probably not. And if I was to get an Xbox, I would probably wait this time because I want a boxed green version because I love the green Xbox. I saw one for 70 quid not long ago and I was tempted, but it's a lot of money. I know they're not cheap, and probably not going to get them cheaper than that anyway. But yeah, I'd like the green one because the green one's my favourite, and that would be a boxed one would be awesome. Whichever way I go, if I do buy an Xbox, I'll be buying a boxed console anyway. What the hell's that? Oh, okay. What is your drink of choice for Christmas Day? Depends on the time of day. First thing in the morning, cup of tea, obviously. Lunchtime would be Bucks Fizz, usually have that with my dinner. And then on night time, a couple of beers. So nothing particularly amazing, I like a couple of cans of Foster's. Any more plans to buy a PC Engine? Another console that's been on the radar for quite a while. I'm very tempted. I do like the PC Engine a lot, and maybe next year or the year after, I don't know, I'll wait and see. But maybe in the future I will buy a PC Engine because I really like the console, and there's certain games, in particular for me personally, because I know a lot of people like it for the shooters, but I prefer it for the arcade games like Vigilante. To me, that is where the PC Engine is really cool, and Vigilante and R-Type, just such good ports. And I think it's got Space Harrier, if I remember rightly. I'm pretty sure I've seen that one. There's a few really good arcade ports, so yeah, possibly. We'll wait and see. Then there's the problem is then which one do you buy, because there's always the debate whether to get into the CD or not. And as I said in the previous video, I mentioned the CD. A lot of people said yeah, the CD's worth the money. So I don't know. I'll have to wait and see on that one. If you could be any character in a movie, which film would you choose? Probably be John McClane in the original Die Hard, because that would be awesome. Be a bit scary and yeah, be a bit tense, but I think it'd be really good. It'd be a good laugh, and you know you're going to win as well. So you might get banged up and bruised, but you're going to come out of it a hero, and you get several sequels as well. So yeah. Any plans for a Christmas YouTube video? Maybe an alternative to the Queen's speech. I will be posting a Christmas video next week. I've got to think about what I'm going to do for that. Probably nothing special, but I do want to. I do always make a video, so I always want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and all of that. So yes, look out for a new video next week for that. You mentioned you enjoyed writing at school. Have you ever tried to write something serious, i.e. a short story, novel, etc.? I haven't. I've always put it off for some reason. It is something I would like to do, and I really should just do it. Probably me, as I always look at the negative and I always think, well, it might not work for this reason or that reason, instead of just doing it. I mean, I need to just basically take some time out, switch everything off, sit down and just write and see what happens. Because that's what I see a lot of writers say. You basically just need to just put it down, and you can always change it later on. Just get it all out of your mind and just just dump it all basically. That's probably the best way to go with it. But yeah, one day I would like to sit down and try and do that. I always had this romantic idea when I moved down here as well in the southwest that I live out in the country and I'd have a little study and I'd write my own books, and just that kind of romantic writer's dream really. Just sitting in your study looking out across the lands and the countryside, watching people go by and getting inspiration and writing your book. And nowadays with Amazon, as I said before, you can self-publish quite easily. So yeah, it's tempting. The problem I have is I probably need to go and get some education on actual writing skills and how to actually construct a book as well is the most important thing. And because I've got the ideas and I know how to put them down, I just don't know how to actually do the construction of the story, the paragraphs, etc. How to communicate the story in a better way and keep people engaged. So I need a bit more help with that. But yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe one day. It better be soon because I'm approaching 40, and if I don't do it, I'll be dead before I know it. Okay. And the last question is Knight Rider or Airwolf? It's got to be Knight Rider, but Airwolf is a classic. I mean, it's an absolutely brilliant show. But Knight Rider, as far as I'm aware, had more episodes, and it made more of an imprint on me at the time. Michael Knight, Devon, Kit, Carr. I mean, that was a special time, man. I mean, Knight Rider was a brilliant show, and it still amazed me when they made the remake a few years ago that they completely cocked it up. It's like, how can you mess up Knight Rider? I mean, it's one man in his car against the world. It's not a difficult concept to get right, to get wrong, but it is a difficult concept to get right. But yeah, it shouldn't be hard to get that right at all. They should just nail that. They should give it another try. give it another shot, see if they can get it right and get a better actor this time and a better cast. But the original, man, Hasselhoff was awesome back then. Just the fact that they had the ejector seating kit and he could fly himself like 80 feet in the air and land on a rooftop, and he just landed softly as well. He didn't just fall over and roll or anything. He just landed on his feet and he was just there. I'm cool. His little leather jacket and his watch. Yeah, Night Rider was awesome, man. I need to go back and watch the old episodes really. Like get a box set or something. That'd be really good. In fact, I might actually look that up on Amazon thinking about it. That's not a bad idea. Right, thank you for the questions, mate. So next set of questions from Kay Hewitt. First question is, now that you've seen the Mighty Calypus, what other YouTubers have you seen lately? Lately, new YouTubers that I've been watching, I recently subscribed to a couple of people who I've watched for a while, on and off. One was Sega Saturn lad Scott, really nice bloke. Finally got around to subscribing to him, so thank God for that. I also subscribed to the Retro Godfather, Dal, who I basically should have subscribed to a long time ago. I'm just pretty useless at getting around to subscribe to people, sometimes I forget. Besides that, I've been subscribing to a couple of vinyl record people as well. If that's your thing, there's a guy called the Vinyl Potato who's just started, who's absolutely fantastic over in America. He's only got a few videos up because he's literally just started making them. Really recommend him, he's really good. Yeah, I'll put links to all their channels down below. But yeah, those are the main ones I've been subscribing to. I read an article the other day talking about making your personalised me into an amiibo. I would love that, would you? Yeah, I suppose it's interesting. Me personally, not really. Not something I'd want to do, but it makes perfect sense that you could make your me into an amiibo. I can see them doing that, and if they start doing customised amiibos, like you go on the Nintendo website and create your own amiibo, man, they're just printing money at that point, aren't they? I mean, apparently they've already made $1 billion anyway from the first initial sales, so Christ, yeah, they're on to a winner with amiibo, definitely. And just speaking of amiibo as well, this whole thing with Marth the Villager and Wii Fit Trainer made me laugh. The fact that there was all this rumour, and I think it came from a GameStop employee. Apparently, there was an email from Nintendo to GameStop originally saying that there was going to be no restocking of those 3 characters and any other non-popular characters, and all the popular characters will be constantly restocked. And then there's been back and forth with different emails and different confirmations from Nintendo where it looks as though actually no, that's not the case. They are going to restock. It's just going to take some time. And the funny thing is that the prices of those 3 amiibos went through the bloody roof on eBay and Amazon. And last night I checked, Amazon have restocked the Villager now, and it's $12.99. So it's a little more expensive than it should be because they're only usually $10.85. But still, it's better than paying $20 or $50 or $80 or whatever ridiculous price people are asking for it. So yeah, it just shows that if you just wait, be a little bit patient, you might have to wait a couple of weeks, but just take your time, don't rush in, you'll be fine. They are going to restock them by the look of it, so yeah, it's all good. Next question. Have you ever been involved in a major coincidence? Not that I'm aware of. Not a major one anyway, not that I can think of. That's different. Do you own a 3DS? Not anymore, unfortunately. I used to own a 3DS, I also owned a 3DS XL. I am very excited and interested in the new 3DS if it ever comes out over here, because apparently it's only Japan and Australia at the moment. But I've said before, handhelds are a big problem for me. Other than the original Game Boy and the original PSP, I've never really got into them. They're always a fad for me. I buy them, I absolutely adore them, I love them, and then a couple of weeks later they just end up sitting on the shelf. I just don't know what it is. I can't get my head around the concept of sitting there like that playing. It doesn't do it for me. I like to have a big ass TV and a surround sound system, and just kick back on the couch with some food and some drink and just chill. That's how I like to game. I don't know. It's so weird. It shouldn't make any difference, but I just can't. That's my foot. I just can't. I just can't game on handhelds. I don't know why. What would you prefer to do? Like every claw of a very angry lion, catch and eat most of the ants in the nest, or eat a regular sized tub of Vaseline? Is that supposed to be lick every claw by some chance? I think you could, be. In which case, I'll take the Vaseline. That'd be the easiest option. Have you prepared for Christmas yet? Yeah, pretty much done. Got all my presents sorted out, everything's wrapped up and ready to go, done my Christmas cards and all that. I'm just waiting now, just counting the hours now, the clock's just ticking down, I'm just waiting for it to happen. So yeah, I can't wait to wait and see what happens. I can't wait to wait, that makes no sense. I can't wait to see what happens. Love Christmas, best time of year. Winter's my favourite season, as I've said before, and I just love the day itself. The build up, it takes a while. The thing with Christmas, it builds up and builds up and builds up, and then it hits, and then it's over, and you're like, shit, it's the new year. It's really bizarre like that, but those couple of days, like Christmas Day, Boxing Day as we have in the UK, and then the couple of days after that, in between Boxing Day and New Year's Eve, and then obviously everybody gets hammered on New Year's Eve, and then you have New Year's Day. So it's like a whole week of just chilled out, lots of food, good food. Well, not say good food, but lots of like nuts and Christ knows what else, and just I'm trying to think of the word. I can't think. Like savoury foods, basically, just stuff that you just pick out, snack food. I love that. It's the best. And turkey sandwiches and all the usual stuff that you have at Christmas. Yeah, Christmas is awesome. I miss demo discs from magazines. Will they ever return? Probably not, because I'm not doing them on the digital form anymore. I think they're getting to the point they just don't care about demos anymore. The problem with demos has always been the fact that it's really hard to do a good demo, because you're just taking a slice out of a game and you're trying to get people to be interested in your game just from like a 10, 15, 20 minute demo, and it really doesn't make sense. Sometimes they get a demo and it's absolutely brilliant. Uncharted Drake's Fortune was probably the only demo I've ever played multiple times. I was addicted to it, I loved it, and I couldn't wait for the game. Really did a great job of getting me involved in wanting that game. Born Conspiracy was a perfect example of a terrible demo, which was not representative of the gameplay whatsoever. They picked the totally wrong part of the game to show for the demo, totally put me off it and spoilt it. And only a couple of years ago did I find out the game's actually really, really good. And it's a real shame that if they'd done a better demo, the game would have sold better, because it was a fantastic title. I've told you about this before, but Dragon's Lair Super Nintendo is the worst game I've ever played. I got it on eBay for 1p delivered. What do you think of that? Well, to be fair, for 1p, you can't argue. I've never played the Super Nintendo version. I believe it's not like a traditional Dragon's Lair game. Isn't it like a third person, like a platform or something? I'm not sure, but I think it is. I don't know why I said third person, because it's a bloody 2D game, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not a traditional, move at the right moment FMV style. It's just a normal platformer. So I'm sure I saw Angry Video Game Nerd play that once. I might be wrong, but I'm sure he did. Ever regretted posting a video? I love your honesty and think that's what sets you apart from other YouTubers. Oh, thanks, mate. No, not really. I only post videos that I feel comfortable posting, so therefore I have no regrets. Because at the end of the day, I wouldn't post it if I thought that it was going to be a video where I'd be like, oh Jesus Christ, why have I done that? Because I'm not going to post anything that makes me look stupid, or at least in my opinion makes me look stupid. Some people might think it does. Britney Spears, for example. Some people might think, what the hell is a grown man putting a video up about Britney Spears? But at the end of the day, I like her. I like her music. Don't really give a shit if no one likes it. That's fine. There's always going to be plenty of people out there that do appreciate the music and do want to talk about it. And yeah, I don't have any regrets on any of my videos that I can think of. No. The problem with me is I don't have a filter. I literally just say what I think, and that's why I have to be careful when I'm making YouTube videos, especially videos like this. I have to be aware of what I'm saying, because you can offend people quite easily these days, and the slightest thing will set someone off, and I don't want to cause any distress or arguments. I don't need all that shit in my life, thank you. So I am sort of wary and careful about what I say sometimes, but for the most part, no. I'm just, if someone asks me a question, I'll give an honest answer, whether it's, whether it's the mainstream thought or not. As I said before, there have been videos I've done in the past. The main one that jumps to my mind will be the Xbox One unveiling, and I came on camera and I was like, oh man, it's amazing, you can do this with the screen, you can do that, and you got all this interaction, like entertainment and all this, and everybody went, it's a pile of shit. We don't want that, we want games. Where's the games? What they're playing at, showing all these movies and TVs and sport, what a load of bollocks. And I was just like, oh, alright, fair enough. So, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. What do you think of the lower amount of questions I've asked this week? I realise that posting loads of questions, 41 questions last week, is overboard. Do you prefer I ask less questions? I honestly don't mind, mate. Obviously, the less questions makes the video shorter. A lot of questions is great, but yeah, I mean, usually quality over quantity is probably a better thing, I suppose, maybe for most people. And obviously, for viewership as well, I think people want to make sure that it's all right having an hour and a half video, and I personally like long videos, so I can watch somebody for an hour and a half. But I know a lot of people probably don't have the time in their lives to do that. But then you can always just cut and watch a bit here and watch a bit there, so I don't really mind. It's up to you how many questions you want to ask. The way I see it, these videos are for you guys. You want to know my opinions on things, so I can't really limit how many questions you ask me. So, what time do you awake on Christmas Day usually? If I'm absolutely honest, about 7 o'clock. I usually, most of the time, I will be awake around about 5, 6 o'clock. and I'll try and force myself back to sleep. Because if I get up at 7 o'clock, my parents sort of won't have a go at me. But my dad's just as bad as me. My dad will be up early and he'll be just lying there waiting to get up. So, yeah, I always think about when you get to an adult and Christmas goes away and the magic goes away. It never has for me. I'm 37 years old and Christmas is still a very special time for me. I still get very excited. I still wake up early and I make the most of the day. I've never gone away, even though I know the truth about Father Christmas. It's never made a difference to me. I still enjoy every moment of it. So, yeah. So thanks for them, mate. Good on you. Next questions are from LFC Gamer, and the first question is: Do non-disabled drivers, Christ, that's the way to start a question, who park in disabled days piss you off? In my opinion, Asda is the worst place for this. Well, you know, I don't know about Asda's parking situation. I've got no idea. Yeah. Basically, people who aren't disabled and they park in a disabled spot should be ashamed of themselves. It's as simple as that. There's no excuse. They're there for a particular reason, because those people aren't able to walk across the whole car park and need to be closer to the supermarket, and you should have more respect. There you go. Right, have you ever tried playing new gen consoles on a CRT? I haven't, you know. It's something I've never done, which is weird because it'd be interesting to see what they look like. Because obviously, I don't know if I'd play a PS4 because I think it might look a bit. I don't know. I don't think it'd look crap. I mean, the PS3 would look decent, and the Xbox 360 would look fine, because, to be fair, none of those games are HD anyway, it's all bullshit. Yeah, they'd look absolutely bang on, actually, on a CRT. In fact, no, come to think of it, I'm pretty certain I did play Call of Duty on a widescreen CRT once. Call of Duty 2. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did, only a couple of years ago. But other than that, no, I haven't. Yeah, in fact, it's last year or the year before. I remember doing it. I remember putting it on. Sure did, yeah. And it looked pretty damn solid, to be honest. It looked really good quality. But as I say, the Xbox 360 games on a disc are DVDs. They're not HD in any way. It's just upscaling. You know, the digital games are a different matter, but the actual physical media, you cannot get HD because it's the DVD. It's not a HD format. Someone's going to correct me on that, but whatever. What are your favourite names? 5 favourite names for a girl? Well, I ain't got any kids, so it's not really something I'll think about, but my favourite name is Sophie. Love that name. Sophie, Samantha, Jennifer, probably Lucy, and Caroline's a nice name as well. I'll go with that one. That's a random question, mate. Jesus. How many mince pies could you devour in one go? Probably about 4, because they start to make me feel a bit sick if I eat too many of them. Mr. Kipling mince pies are amazing. What is your funniest moment in any of your videos? In my opinion, my favourite moment was when you were talking about virtual reality helmet in one of your previous videos. Yeah, I'd probably go with that as well, mate. To be honest with you, that was a shocker. That was literally a moment of like my brain going, "Do you know what you just said?" I was just like, "Oh shit." That was quality. That was. What are you going to? What are you going to do if gaming turns into just digital releases and you must be connected to the internet at all times? Would you rather stick to your older console instead of online playing games? Yeah, absolutely. I honestly, at this moment in time, if the next generation, which I'm not 100% certain that the next generation will be the one that will go digital. It all points to that, but I just don't know yet. Or wait, depends how far ahead it is. If it's 5 years or 10 years. If it's 10 years, then yeah, it probably will do. At the moment, to me, it has no purpose. I just don't understand this whole digital, whether it be films, games, music or movies. Digital holds no relevance to me. I just don't see the point in it at all. So I can't see myself going fully digital for gaming. Having said that, who knows in 10 years' time where I'm going to be in my life, and I might have changed completely. I'll be 47. I'll be approaching 50, for Christ's sake. Damn, that's scary. Jesus. Yeah, that's a frightening thought. But I mean, maybe at that point I won't care, and I'll just be like, you know what, none of that shit matters, just play the games and enjoy them. But at the moment, yeah, no, I won't be. So maybe in 10 years' time I'll look back at this video and be like, yeah, you were talking bollocks, mate. Right, next question. What PlayStation 1 games do you think are way too expensive and need their prices dropped dramatically? Honestly, I don't know enough about the PlayStation 1 retro situation at the moment, so I don't know what games are excessively expensive. The only game I know of is Castlevania, which I know is around £100 or a little bit more. It might have gone up, I haven't looked at it for ages. But complete, with all the bits and bobs in good conditions, around about 100, 110 last time I looked, which was probably about a year ago, so it's probably a lot more than that now. But you know, it just is what it is, isn't it? I mean, I know with PlayStation 1 it just seems a little ridiculous because they're PlayStation 1 games, and for the most part they ain't worth bugger all, they're like 50p a quid. And it does make me laugh when I see people on eBay saying like 49 PlayStation 1 games and they want like 400 quid, and it's like, no mate, no. No one's going to pay that. Unless you've got 40 odd amazingly rare games, that ain't happening, you twat. So, you know. But, yeah, for the most part, like all gaming, all retro systems, there's nothing you can do about it. There are going to be certain games which, for whatever reason, are going to be ridiculously priced. Whether it be that they're rare, which is unlikely for most games because you don't get that many that are actually truly rare, or it's just that it's a popular game and people want to take the piss and jack the price up. It is frustrating, it's annoying, but it is part of the collecting process, and there's nothing we can do about it. People know how retro gaming is now, and they think that everything's worth some money, which is ridiculous. But yeah, nothing you can do, unfortunately. It's crap. Do you think the ZX Spectrum was a good computer despite its colour palette? Honestly, it was alright. I was a Commodore kid, as you all know, so to me the Spectrum was crap. But but as an adult, respectfully, I can say it was a decent machine. Yeah, it was alright. It had some good ports of games. If you just ignore those god awful colour palette, because the colour palette is terrible. The actual sprites now look pretty decent, and you know they did some decent ports. So I'll give it that. But the Commodore's still king. Do you think the Virtual Boy was badly designed, or not put in as much, or they didn't put in as much effort as Nintendo's other consoles? As I say, I've never played one, so I can't honestly comment on it. I don't know. Just from looking at it from the outside, I think it looks pretty sweet, to be honest. It's a nice design, and the idea was really cool at the time. But yeah, until I play one, I can't really say. I don't know. Do you remember when a drunken George Michael drove into a wall and someone put Wham in graffiti where he... I didn't know that someone put Wham. That's really funny. That is brilliant. That's just typical British humour, that is. I love that. That's just fantastic. Have you ever had an advent calendar? When I was a kid, I probably did, yeah. As an adult, no. Tempted to buy them, but then I just couldn't open them day at a time. I'd end up just eating all the chocolate. I mean, you know, what's the point? Have you completed all 96 levels in Mario World? No, not yet. Still not. There's a lot of them I don't know where they are. I need to find the secret levels and everything. There's just so much I need to do on that game. I think I've completed like 50 or something. I'm nowhere near the end of it yet, so yeah, I need to sit down with that one. What Super Nintendo game did you get so close to beating but couldn't? Final Fight 2. I've said before, it pissed me off. The one afternoon I sat down to play it, I got all the way through the game, final boss, no credits left, and he kicked the shit out of me. And I was like, oh, it's so gutting when that happens. To get all that way, you've used all your credits up, and then you just get beaten down. Yeah, not happy at all. I'm going to go back and finish that game. I've got it now in the Japanese, so I'm going to go back and do it. I've got to. I just don't think it's the best Final Fight game. It's kind of boring in a way as well. I find it's a good game, but it ain't as good as the original or number 3. Those two are much better. Okay, do you think that selfies are pointless, a way to dumb society down, or even more, or just for attention seeking? They are kind of pointless, but you know, if people want to look at them, society's dumbed down enough as it is, to be quite honest with you, mate. I've had enough of it. It seems like a lot of people are getting really, really dumbed down these days, and there's a serious lack of intelligence in the society. It bothers me a lot. People's lack of English, being able to just write a sentence, to punctuate, to use the correct words, to spell correctly. And I don't know if that's down to education, down to the internet, or what it is, or mobile phones, but yeah, that has gone severely down the toilet. People's general knowledge is really bad these days. People don't seem to know it. I mean, when you see, it really frustrates me when you see people on the TV being interviewed, and they don't know who David Cameron is, or they know his face, but they don't know actually that he's the Prime Minister of the country. I find that kind of depressing. And obviously that's a small section. That's not the majority of people, but I do find it kind of depressing. I do think, I've said before to my family, like, if you were to go out on the street and interview people and ask them to name 5 world leaders, I honestly, and I might be wrong, but I honestly don't think that most people could do that. That's really the most depressing thing, is that the most important things in life that matter in the world are not being addressed. And I know it's depressing and it's shit, and it is, and I tend to like avoid it myself these days because I just don't want to hear about it. But I still have an awareness of what's happening around the world and what's going on, and I pay attention a little bit, not as much as I used to, but I still pay attention. I like to keep my brain active. A lot of people don't care. They just all they want to do is watch Towie, talk shit on the internet, watch cat videos. You know, they're just not interested in what's going on in the world, and it's really difficult because I think it's important to have a good general knowledge base and to know a lot of things about a lot of different subjects, because I find it fascinating. I like to learn, that's just me. And I think it's important to know about the events that are happening in the world. You don't have to necessarily get really involved and know the ins and outs, but just to be aware of what's happening. Because if you're not aware, that's when people like Hitler come to rise, and then we are in the shit again, and we don't want that to ever happen again. You know, and with the election coming up next year, people should pay more attention and, you know, really make an informed decision about who they're going to vote for, not just randomly vote for somebody, or even, as that dickhead Russell Brand keeps saying, don't vote, because that's just stupid. If you don't vote, you get Hitler. It's as simple as that. Anyway, that was a bit unnecessary, but there you go. Right. Next question. Did you beat Castlevania Dracula X on the Super Nintendo? Not yet. I am still trying to beat it. I've got further than I've ever got into it, so I'm doing quite well. I'm about 4 or 5 levels in, which is pretty amazing for me, because I usually get my arse handed to me. So I need to go back and sit down and play that. I've got the password saved, so yeah. I want to beat it. I just know the game's extremely difficult, and it's going to get to a level where I can't get through it. And I watched James Rolfe, the Angry Video Game Nerd, play it, and yeah, it's one of them games where you're just going to scream a lot. But I'm going to do it. I've got to beat it. I beat number 4, so I have to beat that one. Have you bought any more PlayStation 1 games since your latest pickup video? Not at the moment, no. I will be buying some in the new year, so I will be doing that. I did get out in town, have a look in cash generators, but I didn't have any PlayStation 1 games, which was a bit weird. It has a PS2 games, but they're in shit condition. I thought, what's the point? I can go on eStocks on eBay and pay the same price and get them in immaculate condition, so why bother? So yeah, but in the new year I will be picking up some more PS1 games, because I just got distracted as a crow over there sitting on a TV antenna. Anyway, yeah, I will be going to buy some more PS1 games in the new year. I've got a list that I want to work through. So I will just end up buying them off eBay, to be honest. I mean, they're expensive compared to what you get them in the wild. But until the weather picks up, I ain't going to get the car boot. And to be fair, the car boot's usually full of sports crap and badly damaged boxes and things. So I think, what's the point? I mean, I can just go on eBay, pay a little bit extra and get the quality that I want. But yeah, there will be more PlayStation games coming. Have you seen that Family Guy where Peter tries lifting a whale with a forklift truck? I haven't seen that one, no, so I'll look that one up. I love Family Guy, so... I've recently got into cappella songs, thanks to you. Nice one, mate, good on you. What other 90s dance songs would you recommend me to listen to? I'm trying to find dance songs that I remember from my childhood. What was it, Culture Beat? I think that's what they were called. That's another group to look up. There's Culture Beat, Capella, Two Unlimited, Entrance was another one. They were really cool. Any of those, try them, Google, YouTube them, and see what comes up. I think Culture Beat was Mr. Vane, if I remember rightly. That was a cool tune. That's definitely one worth checking out. What was the other one? There was another song. Was it Omen? I think that was the band or the song. I just remember I got a CD in the other room. It's a purple cover. I'm sure it was called Omen. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, check out Culture Beat, Entrance, Two Unlimited. All of them are absolutely fantastic bands. I'm really glad you're trying out Capella, because Capella are awesome. Next question is from a good mate Rich, Crash Test Gaming. Okay, the first question from Rich is, if you could relive any past event or day, what would it be? There's a few. They're generally not British events. That's the thing. It's like JFK that I'd be fascinated to go back and just to witness it. And I know it's kind of morbid, but just the reason I want to witness it is just to get the facts, to find out if it is as clean cut as it's meant to be, or if there was a conspiracy. But the most important one for me would be Roswell. I would love to go back to Roswell, New Mexico, 1947, and just find out the truth about that. If Marcel was telling the truth, that would be fascinating. That would be the one I'd go to. Right, okay. When the NTSC Super Nintendo game prices fall, will you buy any games back? I'll sell you Final Fantasy 3 and Demon's Quest for 500 quid. Thanks, Rich. Final Fight 3, sorry, I'm on about Final Fantasy, it's fat. Final Fight 3 and Demon's Quest, yeah, nice one. When the prices drop, those two I'll get on Japanese anyway. The only one I'd want is Toycon 2, American. I'll probably have to get Toycon as well again, because to be quite honest, the Japanese Toycon is ridiculously overpriced. But yeah, Toycon 2 is the only American game I actually want, because I can't get it in Japan. And it's a game I've wanted for a long time. Did you ever watch Bits, the gaming TV show? It was much better than Games Master and Ballingers. I've never heard of it, mate, to be honest with you. I'll look it up on YouTube because I've watched all the Games Master and Bad Influence that I want to watch. I watched every episode of Bad Influence on YouTube. It's brilliant. So yeah, bits. I'll have a look at that. Which cheers. Okay, there's another question from Mr. Hewitt. I now own a flat back TV and love it. The low weight and low bulk of it means it's easy to adjust when you change the room around or move house. I used to have a CRT and hated it. So big and heavy. I play retro games and they look the same on an LCD as they did on a CRT. No, they don't. However, I've heard reports that LCD TVs display retro consoles poorly. They do. They look like shit. This doesn't seem the case with mine though. Luckily, our LCD TV is digital and analog, so it's good in that sense. It's also Sony and well made with nice clear screen. Why do I keep two TVs? Because basically CRTs are what retro game consoles were designed for, and they look far superior. They look like shite on a modern TV. I just don't like the way they look at all. And also on a modern TV, the problem I have is because it's a widescreen TV, I have to put the TV in 4:3 because there's no way in hell I'm playing a retro game stretched out to 16:9 because they look like crap. And the one console you want to do, if you want to really see the difference, is take a PlayStation 1 and take Tekken 3, or any of the Tekken games, or any of the 3D games, put them on a CRT and then put them on a modern TV. It's night and day. On a modern TV they look absolutely atrocious. On a CRT they look beautiful. Yeah, CRTs are the best place to play a retro game. I just don't understand how people play them on modern TVs. They look like crap. Plus it's also about the authenticity as well. It's like they were designed for CRT TVs. So for me personally, it's about the authenticity of recreating the experience of having the console and the original hardware on the original TV and just having it the way it should be and playing it the right way. So that's why I do it. So Sega sent me one was asking about suggesting maybe I can make a weekly video showing how I hunt down items. Maybe tips from my own personal experience. The sort of thing that like Pete Dorr was doing with his eBay search. And yeah, I did reply to that. There's a possibility. There's always something different. At the moment, I'm not really doing a lot of game hunting, as I say. It's a bit quiet on that front. But yeah, something I'll look into. Right, next questions are from Super Nintendo. Thank you. First question is, are you going to update your channel intro video now that some of the things you said on it at the time, e.g. your main collecting being the American Super Nintendo, that you're now collecting, NES games, etc., has now changed? Good question. Possibly yes. That could probably do with changing. This is the problem, you see. Where do you start there? Because you do the video, and then you change your mind, and things change in your collection, and then it sort of makes the video defunct. I really like that video, though. I was quite happy with that video. But yeah, I'll wait and see in the new year, see what I can come up with, so I can figure out a better way of doing it. Apart from Only Fools and Horses, since you've already talked about it, which other British sitcoms, past or present, are you a fan of? Let me see. That's really hard, actually. I can't think of any. That's mainly the main one, really, Only Fools and Horses, because I like Fawlty Towers. It's a good show, and Red Dwarf, of course. Red Dwarf was an absolute classic. The one I'm thinking about, yeah, probably Red Dwarf, actually. That was a brilliant show. I used to love watching that. Yeah, I mean, Only Fools and Horses for me is like the top tier. It's like the best. I mean, trying to find anything up to that level is really difficult, I find. Open All Houses was a good show, you know. I mean, the Two Ronnies, it's not really a sitcom. It's more of a sketch show. But I absolutely love the Two Ronnies. That was just one of the best shows ever. Those two are just, Ronnie Barker in particular. I love Ronnie Barker. He's so funny. But yeah, I mean, in terms of sitcoms, I don't know. Yeah, you can call Red Dwarf a sitcom, can't you? I suppose. Yeah, I'd go with that. I recently watched Steve Benway's Nature of Reality videos. Do you have any thoughts, theories on parallel universes, all possible situations and timelines existing concurrently, the outcome of everything in the universe being predetermined? Yeah, parallel universe is fascinating. I'd like to know. I mean, I don't understand the science, obviously, because it's really complicated, but there's the whole parallel universe, there's the Einstein-Rosen bridge for space travel, all of that kind of stuff fascinates me as to the possibilities and the theories as whether it could actually happen. The parallel universe thing, I'm not sure about. I mean, it makes perfect sense, really. It would make sense in terms of deja vu as well. Whether it'd be like a fluctuation in the timeline, and the parallel worlds and our world are colliding, and that's why we get deja vu, because we have actually experienced that event, but not in this world. We experienced it in a different world. Because when you think about it, when you make a decision, you usually have two options, and say you take option A, you didn't get down the road of option B. So that would make sense that there is a parallel world where that version of you took the option B. And it just makes perfect sense to me that that's possible. The thing is, anything is possible because we don't really understand the world, we don't understand life or anything really, we don't understand ourselves and the soul. I mean, that is the thing. I mean, there's the question: do we have a soul, or is it that we've become so evolved that we have no way of understanding this inner? Because we've got this meat and these bones, and then we have this personality inside of us, which other creatures don't have. Now, is it just a case of evolution, and we've got to the point where our brains have decided that's how we're going to explain it, as a more higher level, like a spiritual soul, or is it an actual essence, an actual thing, where when we're born, the only thing that's born is the soul, and the soul is transferred into the body, and the body is just a mechanism to exist and to manoeuvre around the world, and then we do reincarnate and we do go into different. Because reincarnation makes me wonder as well, because sometimes I see people who are a lot younger than me, like 20 years younger than me, but their maturity level is 20 years older than what they actually physically are. And I do wonder if, when you see people like in their 16, 17, and they're into like old movies into like the 50s and the 30s, and they've got these really old souls, it does make you wonder if they've been reincarnated, and that's why the original soul is reliving what they loved at the time, and then they're living in the modern era, and they can't let go of what they had in the past. I don't know. It's fascinating stuff. I find all of that sort of stuff really interesting to talk about, and it's very complex, and it's difficult to ever come up with a real true answer, because I don't really know. Until you die, we never know the truth, and you could just die and that's it, black, nothing. But then it seems completely pointless. Why would that happen? What's the purpose in doing that? Why would we have evolved to this level where we're so sentient? It doesn't make sense to me. Why would we become sentient just to die and not have anything happen? It's just blackness. And then it makes you think, well, if it is just blackness and there is nothing more, you don't come back, why are we fighting each other? Why are we killing each other? Why are we doing all of these vile, despicable things? We should just not worry about all the bullshit and all the things that don't matter. Stop hating each other for ridiculous, pointless reasons. Whether it be skin colour, religion, other beliefs, whatever the viewpoints be, sexuality, gender, all of these pointless things that we argue about all the time as a species are so completely dumb. It really is. It makes no sense whatsoever. We're all exactly the same. We're all human beings. We're the dominant species on this planet. Why are we arguing about pointless crap that means nothing and is irrelevant? Just get along with each other. Just be happy and just be friendly and just treat people right. That's all you need to do in life. Just treat people good and they'll treat you good. It's not a hard concept. But yeah, there you go. Right. Next question. If you could go back to when you first started doing YouTube videos and A, give yourself one piece of advice, and B, change one thing, what would they be? Difficult, because advice-wise, I can't really think of anything. Because I've never really, when I've made my videos, I've always been right from the heart. I'm honest in all my videos. And you've seen that. You've seen me change my mind God knows how many times, buy stuff, sell stuff, re-buy it, sell it. Be one way one moment, another way another moment, and I'm just like that in real life. I don't, what you see on here is what you get in real life with me. So I couldn't really advise my original self when making videos to be a certain way or do a certain thing, because I've just done what I thought was right at the time when I've made videos. Changing things as well, I wouldn't really change anything because I'm happy with my journey. I've done exceptionally well on YouTube, more than I ever thought I would do. I've met some fantastic people through doing this process. And I've had a lot of fun doing it. I've enjoyed making the videos. I've enjoyed meeting people and just having fun and having a laugh and chatting about gaming and and other topics as well. You see on my channel, I don't just do gaming videos because the channel is an extension of my personality, so I like to share everything that I like, and just like to meet other people who like what I like as well, and people who don't like what I like, and to have a debate about it, which is always good. Hard to get a debate on the internet because most people just seem to shake you down and tell you you're a twat, so you don't really get to have a discussion about things. But there are people out there who will discuss things, like politics, for instance. Shem Musa, really top bloke. Me and him do not agree on politics whatsoever. We've got totally different opposing views, but we can have a laugh about it, and we can have a chat about it, and that's the way it should be, So no, I wouldn't change a damn thing. I'm really happy with the way I've acted on YouTube. I think I've been respectful. I've never deliberately gone out of the way to offend people or to just do something really shocking to get views, because that's bullshit to me. I don't see the point in that. I'm just me. I will never put a personality on. Have you ever thought about doing videos where you try to complete challenges given to you by viewers? E.g., someone could challenge you to complete a specific level of Mario World in under a certain time, and or without touching any coins, enemies, etc. Or try to complete a level in Super Castlevania without collecting any weapon upgrades. That's a really cool idea. Yeah, why not? I'll give it a shot. I'll probably be a train wreck of a video. But yeah, let me know, guys. Is that something you'd like to see? If it is, then we can work that out, because that's quite a cool idea. I like that. Okay, thank you very much. And you wish me a Merry Christmas, and Merry Christmas, mate. Cheers. Okay, and that is the last question, unfortunately. So there we go, guys. That's it. That's this week's episode. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Obviously, there won't be a video next week because it is Christmas. So the next video will be in 2 weeks' time. So if you do have a question for that video, just pop it down below in the comments, and I'll answer all your questions in 2 weeks' time. So obviously, as I say, with Christmas next week, I can't be making a video. I'll be with family and I'll be busy. But if you did like this video, guys, as always, please like it, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to share it around, that'd be fantastic. And I'll see you all again in 2 weeks' time.